These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my shit.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of season 2, we think, of our ATP podcast. And what we're going to do today, we're not going to mention the war, and we're just going to focus on having a little fun, and we're going to do a little episode called The Confessions of a PT.
Yeah, so we've some stories here for you, some funny, some embarrassing, so we hope you enjoy.
So I suppose, just to start with one of the stories, we'll talk about your initial start in PT.
Yeah. So year 1, when I became a personal trainer, got a bit of land, I started up in Mayfield, and whilst everyone was very nice, I hadn't a clue what anyone was saying to me. As you well know, when we first met, it's like I needed a translator.
So when myself and Cian first met, I definitely spoke a lot quicker than I do now. I think a lot of people would attest to that.
So there's a Mayfield accent, but like you have
A strong Mayfield
accent. Or you had.
Yeah, it's definitely changed.
You've definitely slowed down an awful lot.
It even happened in classes. People wouldn't even be able to understand me what I was saying in classes. You'd look at people and they're like, "Do you ever understand?" And it's like, so learning to slow down was definitely key to.
Or sometimes just looking at you blankly, not having a clue what you're actually saying.
So what we needed then, our buddy Cian, OC Fitness, shout out. We were going on Cian's stag to Berlin.
My stag.
Cian O'Flynn's stag. And he actually asked Cian O'Connor, messing, we're kind of serious, to be my translator, so he could understand what I was saying for the weekend. And we gave it a good go. In the Saturday night, I think it was, after a long day of being out, we ended up in a queue for a nightclub.
Again, probably the hardest nightclub to get into in the world, I think.
The hardest. So about 3 a.m. I'd say, and we decided in the middle of the queue, which was very, very long, after a long day of drinking, to start doing a full body pump routine.
Yeah, full 45-minute workout, I'd say. We started with the warm-up, squat track. Don't think we did the chest track, but we definitely did the back track.
Lunge track definitely happened.
Lunge track, and we finished on biceps, obviously.
So this is obviously with no bars, no equipment, absolutely locked, and queuing for the hardest nightclub ever. And safe to say, we stayed in the queue all the way up, walked up towards the bouncers, and
they just waved us on.
So a note.
I don't think they even spoke to us, actually.
A note to everybody listening: maybe don't do a body pump session while in the queue for a nightclub. You probably
not a full class anyway.
You probably won't get in.
Yeah, but that continued on as well. Actually, I can remember first time I went out with your buddies in Mayfield. Just asked kind of Cian on the quiet, like he's like, "Will you translate that there for me?"
But over the years, Cian has adapted to the North language, and
I think it's been a kind of both ways. You kind of slowed down,
slowed down,
up,
he sped up. But I suppose body pump played a huge part for us in our careers. Like, we've taught hours and hours of body pump. If people don't know what a body pump class is listening, it's just basically a barbell class. It's all choreographed music.
Done to music, exactly.
We used to be under fair stress altogether when we had to get a new set of body pump songs to learn.
And then do it twice a day to a class of 40 or 50 people. Yeah.
So with body pump, you'd find a lot of tough scenarios, because basically body pump is your top of the class, and you're doing the whole class with everybody, so you can't necessarily go around and instruct or have a one-on-one conversation.
People who do our classes don't know that we're very interactive, like getting off the stage, whereas like with body pump you can't really do that because everyone in the class is working to what you're doing. So like one story that definitely jumped to mind there was middle of a squat track, bar up my back, one day, class of about 40 odd people in it, and a woman came up to me mid-track and told me her sports bar was after bursting open. So it got a bit awkward. Didn't know what to say, didn't know what she wanted me to do, but we just got on with it anyway in the end.
Like with the body pump classes, it was gas, because you'd have, like I said, 40, 50 people, which is a lot, and especially like the early morning classes there, so you'd have a 6:30 a.m. class, and there would be mornings there where you'd have a bit of a panic. The alarm might go off a little later, you might hit the snooze button, and you're just panicking all morning, sprinting to get in, to be there to start the class at 6:30 with 45 people waiting to get their gear, and it's just trying to act as if nothing has happened and remember the tracks.
I think the the biggest letdown anyway that I've had from you anyway since we've been working together. Monday morning spin ATP, Ian decided to sleep it out.
I didn't decide. It just happened. So I woke up at 6:28.
Everyone knows how much I love spin, so I had to hop up on the bike for Ian.
Cian hates spin.
So yeah, I had to hop up on the bike for Ian and perform the spin class for him, which it's probably the oddest I've ever been with you, I'd say.
6:28 a.m. I woke up and realised, holy shit. And rang Cian. I was like, I am not going to be in. Cian had a couple of PT clients he was supposed to have at 6:30, and
got them up on the bikes.
But this is where it gets. This just shows how much Cian doesn't like spin. Is that I get in there as quick as I can, definitely breaking the speed limit on the way in, and I get in there it's about just gone 7, maybe just 7:05. So there's about 10 minutes left in the spin class. And I kind of walk in sweating and kind of panicky, and I says to Cian, who's on the bike while he's making up songs as he goes along, I was like, do you want to finish the class? No, hop on the bike there and do the last 10 minutes, which I was like, what? So there's 10 minutes to go in the class, he'd already like 35 minutes done.
I told him you were going to finish it.
but just got me to finish the class. So, but just while we're playing the blame game here, there was a morning, so I wouldn't hate it as much as Cian hates spin, but circuits is one of my least favourite classes teaching. The only reason
Only time I've ever been late,
I don't like teaching circuits is just I don't like that you have to kind of prepare everything beforehand. I like kind of winging it, like everything in life. But Cian rang me in a panic. His electric gate was not opening.
No, just wasn't opening.
Explain that morning to people maybe.
So it was absolutely lashing rain. I think I'd given myself a little bit of extra time, which I normally do on a Tuesday morning, to go in and set up the circuits class. Driving down the driveway, pressing the button to open the gates, nothing happening. Absolutely pouring out of the heavens, starting to panic. Ran back in, got Emma,
his wife
to run down, boosted her over the gate, tried to manually open it, still nothing happening. So
what happened when you boosted Emma over the gate?
Oh, she took a small fall.
A small fall? I think she'd argue at that point. Emma went flying.
She wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressed, but she got up and got on with it. So yeah, I was quite late that morning. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So look, these things happen, I suppose. Like we do end up being late, but it's about dealing with those scenarios when they happen. Like
Exactly. Yeah. So are there any other class ones there that you? I
suppose like there's a big one for me anyway. Definitely, it's wonderful when we think about like what we're going to talk about, and I think it's something that everyone knows about, but no one probably talks about. Is called the secret fart.
Oh yeah.
And we, as a coach, every coach listening has definitely been there. So you're teaching a class, whether there be 40 or 50 people in there, or 10, 15 people in there, and you'll be strolling around the class giving your instructions, and next thing there's a smell and you're like, ooh.
If you ever see us like hanging around the same area of a class for a while, that's probably the reason.
So like basically what happens is like obviously, and look, farting is part of life, but some people obviously in the class might be doing a sit-up or a squat or whatever, and they happen to leave out a fart, and it's not a particularly nice one, but they obviously don't say anything, and you'll walk down, you'll be quickly walking back up to the top of the studio, and this happens quite a lot in the classes, but it's just a real funny one that people, you can see the people in the class just kind of looking around, they know someone has done it, like, but everyone wants the same face, so they don't get the blame.
I think another one of the classes there is the odd time there, someone will come up to you in class and ask, can I go to the toilet, please? I'm like, I'm not your teacher, and this is not school. Yes, you're an adult, you can go to the toilet.
The classes would be great,
Yeah, so I have to mention as well, I suppose, like we'd be quite critical of people who binge eat and overdo it on the calories at the weekend, but like we're obviously guilty of it.
Very guilty,
sometimes of ourselves there. One that jumps to mind there would be our burger challenge that we felt we just had to do.
Yeah, so I think the Oliver Plunkett had an insane burger challenge, and Cian likes his food. I like my food. We felt we'll definitely give it a go. How big was it?
So it was 5 pounds of food.
5 pounds of food.
Don't know how many calories, but 5
a
pounds
lot.
of food. 2 kilos.
So basically, it was just a massive burger.
And a lot of chips.
And don't forget chips.
Don't forget chips, yeah.
So we went
I finished it.
All right.
Didn't pay.
So basically finished it, not to pay. I was very sad I had to pay. So we went in, Ireland playing Scotland in Six Nations. everyone was watching that initially. By the end of it, everyone was watching us.
Yeah, no one cared about the match anymore. It was literally all attention was on us finishing the burgers.
I was sweating. So we were talking into the burger. I think you'd know what to do it.
It was timed, yeah.
Yeah, you'd know what to do it. And we were getting through the burger, but I started struggling hard near the end.
We were both struggling hard, but I finished it.
Cian, you ate the chips first, I think.
I had a strategy, alright, yeah.
But basically I took them to the burger first, and there was this chips left, and I was honestly, I think I had the burger gone, and there was only a few chips left. There wasn't even that many. I'd say 15 chips left.
It was very sad, like,
and I honestly felt I was going to vomit. Like, I was like, if I have another bite, I'm going to get sick. And there was Cian shouting at me after finishing his, finish your chips! I was like, if I have another chip, I am going to get sick.
I just felt he was leaving the side down. Like.
And lo and behold, I had another chip, and I ran to the bathroom and projectile vomited everything back up. So the burger challenge was one of this, I think how we felt after was one of the saddest we've ever felt.
Yeah, it was absolutely horrendous. Like, it was just like lying on the couch for hours, not able to move. Like.
So binge eating, like eating to that extent, is not something we recommend from a health point of view.
I think the next thing we ate that night actually was room for ice cream. Yeah.
There's always room for ice cream.
Settle the tummy, like.
There's always room for ice cream. But I think, like, it's important to be able to switch off and be able to, take your breaks. Like we work hard, so I think, like, especially in our younger days of PTing in a gym, we were kind of flat to the mat for 8 hours solid.
Absolutely, like so. I suppose, we used to do back-to-back PT there quite intensely, 8-9 hour shifts, and you would get quite wrecked, like. And there's a few occasions, definitely happened more than once, where kind of coming near to the shift, you might be after 7 or 8 hours of intense PTing in classes, and I have to admit, like, halfway through the session, I'd start training the wrong clients. So people I wasn't actually training at all, I'd walk up to them and start training them until, like, they copped, what's going on.
In your defence, it was a busy gym floor. But that's just part of it, I suppose. But you have to be able to switch off as well. And I suppose people who know me know I probably was quite good at switching off in my mid-20s. So at the weekend, like, I'd really go out and enjoy myself. And I suppose one thing I wouldn't advocate is I'd always go to my clients now if they came in to be hungover. I think you shouldn't train when you're hungover. Your body's dehydrated. You haven't had enough sleep. Like, loads of reasons you shouldn't train hungover. And you definitely shouldn't go to work hungover if you're a PT. Like, in my opinion, like, if one of the staff came in very hungover, I wouldn't be too impressed or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have been there, and I was in my mid-20s, and myself and Cian O'Connor, OC Fitness, we took a trip to Dublin, and we went out on the Saturday night, and it was supposed to be up Saturday. I think we were up for a game or just up for a few drinks with people, and supposed to come back down on the Sunday, because we were working on Monday, and we had a great night Saturday night, out late, and then on Sunday, had a couple of cider before we were supposed to head away. A couple of cider, ended up we'll stay up here Sunday night. Wasn't a great idea, because what followed was an all-day session Sunday, late Sunday night, to a sing-song in the chipper, I think, at 1 o'clock with Cian. And we knew we had to get home from work, so we decided to book the 6:30 a.m. train from Dublin to Cork, knowing we were walking at 12 o'clock.
Not smart.
Not smart at all, because we had to get up at 5:30, taxis to the train, got the train to Cork, got into Cork for maybe 10, slept for an hour, got up, went to work.
With the exception of my stag, I think it's the saddest I've ever seen you.
I was very, very sad, and it's not a proud moment, but it was something that happened, and a lot of clients knew quite quickly that I wasn't performing at my best that day. But I learnt my lesson to not do that. And just speaking on, you're coming back to your stag there.
I was just about
to forget that?
So I think we made it back to Cork at about 3 o'clock in the morning from Dublin. So Berlin to Dublin, and then drove down.
With a pit stop, and then we got home at 3 o'clock. And so basically, this is the early stages of ATP. So we felt like, foolishly, we had to be open. We could not close the gym. So I put myself on the roster for Tuesday morning.
Monday.
It was bank holiday, so it was Tuesday morning, 6:30 a.m. And big mistake. Like,
up on a spin bike, wasn't it?
Up on a spin bike, yeah. Absolutely nearly getting sick. So lessons learned is that when we have a weekend away, to take a day off when we get back. Thankfully, we can do that every so often now, whereas at the beginning we didn't. Like,
definitely one I can think of there definitely is first trip to Rome on taking a break from it. might have got a bit excited with all the pizza and pasta. I think within about the space of 4 or 5 days, put on about 10 pounds.
It's good eating.
Yeah, good eating, good solid eating. It's a lot of pizza. First day back, went in. I think first squat I did, bust open my pants. The only pants I had, so yeah, mid-shift all the way back home, get new pants back in again.
Not the first time it happened. We actually have issues at the moment with tracksuit pants, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't like the
Very
new
hard
style
to find,
tracksuit pants. we realise now what kind of middle age we're all getting.
Probably
old.
because we're old, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So we like the loose tracksuit pants, but can't seem to find those anymore. I think like when it comes to, you know, in classes and stuff as well, I've often had shorts ripping in class and stuff, and it's like, right, I need
You
to
kind of panic. Yeah.
what's going to happen here? Will I make it through the class?
What has happened here?
Asking yourself, like, what exercise can I do here that I can hide where the hole is? And just trying to make it through the class. But like again, another one I think we'll be guilty of, and I think a lot of clients will be thinking themselves, was that to me? Is myself and you and Cian, to keep ourselves occupied every so often in the shift, we would give each other a challenge that we'd have to come up with an exercise that wasn't really an exercise and get our clients to do it on the gym floor while three of us are on the gym floor. Spoofy exercise, how we describe it.
Harmless, but funny for us.
So just making up something completely random and just convincing the client that this is the exercise we need to do for
their goals. Like, yeah, so it could be like something
Guilty
like, you know, squats supersetted with walking with a stick. You had another one there as well.
So basically just squatting and just turning around in a circle and just turning back in a circle, not doing much really.
There was the kind of the sumo wrestler kind of moves as well and stuff like that for a while.
So yeah, look, we don't do that anymore, so our
No, we
current
don't do that
clients don't
anymore.
have to concern with that, but that was just something that kept us occupied as we were...
Yeah, they're all legit exercises now, I swear.
we think anyway.
Yeah.
I think another one is, just from where we're at the moment in the world, is realising there was a woman who we probably looked at strangely a while back in the gym who walked in, but realising no, she was actually miles ahead of her time. Who walked in with the woolly gloves.
So I had a client I was just perplexed with there who
It's
came
good for
in
you as
wearing
well.
not training gloves now but woolen gloves and insisted she performed the whole session with the woolen gloves on.
And looking back now, she was probably
Yeah.
a few years ahead of schedule. Like.
Yeah, I asked her, like, you know, what story was there. She said she just didn't want to get any of the bugs, like, so. Yeah.
So, like, I suppose as a PT, you do come across we're lucky that we come across so many different type of clients, you know, and we amazing people as well, and just real, I think, honest people. And I think like some of the statements you get from clients are just brilliant, like, you know, and we'll never name any names, but like, you know,
a few quotes there.
when a client said to me, you know, Ian, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to change my food, I was a bit like,
yeah.
oh,
I think you get that a lot with the food. Like, some client there, she's called herself the fat rabbit. And refused.
She called herself that. No, we didn't call her that.
We call her
That's
that.
very
And
important.
she refused to not drink wine every single night of the week, and then would get very upset when she didn't lose weight. Yeah.
Like, there is only so much information you can give somebody, and, you know, honest feedback, and, you know, if someone just flat out just refuses, then you're kind of like, okay,
So
you know,
just maybe be a small bit realistic.
if someone wants to lose weight, you probably do have to look at your current nutrition as to get that. There was a woman, was it chest press?
Chest press or incline dumbbell press. So those of you who know it there, so you're sitting back or lying back into an incline bench, and you're pressing the dumbbells from your chest up. So the way she would remember it herself, she would say, boobs, triangle, boobs, triangle.
And look,
So
it's not really a cue that we learnt in
No,
PT,
but like,
in PT school.
it helped her. Yeah,
it definitely helped her.
Yeah.
So, and I think there, like, one of the best quotes I think we've received, like, is basically we trained the client, and she just said, I use men's shower gel in the shower, and it's the closest I've gotten to a man in the shower in 30 years. No, there's not much. There's not much you can do with that.
Yeah, you're not going to.
You
How are you going to respond to that?
You just have to take that for face value. So, like, a big thing you kind of learned from experience is how to probably hold in a laugh when you absolutely have to.
Yeah. Bite your tongue, like.
Because there are scenarios where you have to just do that. And also, a big one I learned, I think, is how to hold in a yawn. So you'd be, especially early years, like you'd be so exhausted from the back-to-back PT. So you want to leave out a huge yawn, but you're in the middle of PT, and somebody like, I can't let this person know that I'm exhausted. Like, and she's like, trying to keep them all closed and yawn. But they're just skills we picked up over the years.
Yeah. I had a buddy there, Niall. He won't mind me mentioning by name. He doesn't live in Ireland, so he came to check out the gym when he came home. And he's a strong, fit dude. He never used the sled before, so those of you who push the sled, you know how like tough it is. But yeah, he got a bit cocky with it and didn't think much of it. So he gave it a go anyway, and he kind of went a bit hard,
Way too hard.
To the point where he's probably getting sick consistently for about an hour and a half. Wouldn't let him hop back into his car. Had to bring him into the class studio, lie him down on the mat. Kind of didn't forget about him. I knew he was there, but I just told him to chill out. Like, had a new client come in for a consultation. So I was sitting down with the new client in the consultation room. Niall burst in, covered in sick. So I just had to tell him, get out of there.
Not a great first impression for our client.
For the clients,
thinking we do that to our clients.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I suppose keeping track of your sets and reps is quite important.
Yeah, and I suppose I would have a few clients there who might go a little bit too fast, too quick with the reps. They all just want to get to that number 12 as quickly as they can. So there's one client there who asked me how many reps she should be on the seated row, and I said do 12, 15 there, and her response was, I'm on 27.
So we went for high volume training back there.
High volume sets, yeah.
So I suppose, look, this is just a brief and short podcast you wanted to jump on, but there's just one more quote that I think we need to finish on. We'll give context, but the quote is, "This hurts my vagina." No.
Like, how do you respond to that?
When you hear that first, you're like, what are the lads after doing here? Look, that quote is brilliant. We burst out laughing when it happened. We couldn't hold it after in, but like, we were on the hip thrust machine, and basically this is again an older woman who was very honest, and she just basically told us that it was hurting her vagina, and so we very quickly took her off that machine and got her going. There are many more stories that we can say. There's probably a lot of stories we can't say, but like, it's just to kind of take your mind off what's going on. So we do hope you enjoy it. We are going to continue our podcast over the next coming weeks. So make sure just stay tuned, and we will kind of mix it up between educational stuff and just maybe some light-hearted stuff. Yeah,
if there's something in particular that you want us to cover or talk about, definitely just send us a message and we'll include it. Yeah,
and if you feel someone could just benefit from listening to us waffle on there for 20-30 minutes and have a little fun, please send them the podcast. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Watch this.